not columnar, not cupoidal. Okay. But where would be areas where there's a lot of abrasion and hitting and skin? So what type of tissue might be on that? Is it going to be simple? Okay, it's going to be stratified because of multiple layers, right? And when in doubt, always say squamous. All right.
All right.
You got it.
Write that one down.
So that covers body orientation, body planes, body cavities, tissues. Okay. The next area is skin. So integumentary system. What comes to mind for that? Let's see. What's the cell layer, or what's the epithelial layer for skin? I'll tell you right now, you do have a picture of the skin. It'll be a big panel that has all kinds of components of the skin. So what are some of your components?
Sebaceous glands. You've got
sebaceous glands, hair follicle, blood vessels. Okay, oil and sebaceous are the same thing. When we get hot and sweaty, sweat glands. All right, naming all of those, would you be able to recognize them? Page 172. There may be one in the study guide here, but page 172 is a classic panel showing skin and its components. It's chapter 6 if you're looking in the study guide. There might be a black and white picture. Yes. That picture looks awful familiar.
What page?
There's 172 in the textbook. It's 54 in your study guide.
Yeah, it is 172. You've got the exact same.
All right, so if you were given four multiple choice questions associated with that, you kind of
wow.
You might know some things.
Do we have to draw that?
So what type of gland is associated with the hair follicle?
Wait, what? Ooh.
What type of gland? So see here, the hair follicle kind of cloverleaf extension off the hair follicle. Okay, it's sebaceous because you think oily hair.
Where?
Yeah.
Is it on here?
Yeah, it's on here. Is that cloverleaf thing coming off the hair follicle? But what's the squiggly line that looks like a bunch of coiled up spaghetti with the one duct that takes you to the surface?
The sweat glands?
Those are sweat glands.
Eccrine.
Right, because they're eccrine, they're by themselves. Okay. What layer are the hair follicles, blood vessels, sweat glands, and such in?
Dermis.
Dermis.
Okay, so you have your epidermis, your dermis, and your hypodermis. The hypodermis technically isn't part of the skin, but it's always associated with a discussion on skin because it's, All right? So the dermis contains the majority of your sensory receptors, the hair follicle. All right, what's the structure that gives you goosebumps?
Papillary muscles.
Okay, so what would you be able to find the muscular structure in that picture?
Would be this.
It'd be that one.
The shape right around the hair.
That one, right? Right there, right?
No, it looks like a striated muscle.
All right.
Oh, it's right there.
So we have parts that are
Right here.
labeled like
That
1,
thing?
2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever on the.
Huh?
Again, it's a colored picture. Then there's a description of each of the, or of 4 or 5 labeled parts that we just went over. Yeah, it's a muscle, yeah. And it's attached to the bottom of the hair follicle so that when it contracts, it makes the hair stand up.
Yeah.
Kind of gives you the goosebumps. Well, it's not labeled on this one, but it's going to be your striated structure. Oh, in the pit, yeah. It's this one here. Erector pili is your muscle, so it looks like a striated muscle. See, doesn't it look like a muscle?
Because I'm holding this thing, it's like on fire.
Okay. Yeah.
The dermis has 5 layers, and epidermis has 4, right?
Well, usually we don't associate. Well, if I were to describe the term dermis, I would say it has 2 layers: the papillary, which is the region right underneath the epidermis, and the reticular, which is the brunt of 80% of it. So if I were answering that question the way it was posed, I would probably say there are 2 regions or divisions of the dermis, whereas there are 4 to 5, depending upon whether you're talking about thin skin or thick skin of the epidermis. Just word to the wise, there's no question that asks you the stratus of the epidermis.
Oh.
So don't worry about it. All right.
You'd always like ask about those.
Well, my attitude about a final is it should sort of just be an overview.
I like
and kind
it.
of keep it general. Since
I like your
since I wrote it, that's
Oh, yeah, he does.
that's the philosophy behind it. It won't be any nitpicky things. You ask the nitpicky things when you do the unit, if you want to come across that.
Remember on the midterm when we handed
Right.
it out? If you know the vocab, you do good.
All right. So the classic other. What's the cell that gives you all your pigmentation?
Oh my! How did we forget that?
Oh,
Where's it?
melanin?
Melanin, so
Melanin.
melanocytes.
How did we forget that?
Right.
I said that like a billion times.
Melanin is the pigment.
You have to
You
know
know
about the
your
UV rays.
How do you spell melanin?
That would be
Please.
considered specific in my book. All right. So everybody okay with that? So if you have your textbook at home, it's page 172. If you want to kind of get a glance of that picture, because it's the exact picture, or if you're just taking the study guide and want to look at it, it's page 54.
Like, will questions on the picture be like multiple choice, or will it be like filling out?
If they're all multiple choice,
Okay.
so it'll be a function, or which structure in this picture does this.
So it's an exact picture.
A, B,
I have a
or
question. What to
A, B, and A.
And then it will be so your
C,
your choices and the multiple choice, you guys, are numbers or whatever. The picture has numbers on it. Like
Okay.
this is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3. So which number represents such and such? Which
Shut up.
picture represents which picture, whatever, or which number?
Okay.
It'll be pretty obvious.
My hand's sweating so bad because this thing's so hot.
And then the next
It's not
area
supposed to be running for a long time.
is skeletal and joint. So
Joints.
we don't have a picture of the skeleton, so you don't have to. Again, think general. All right, so don't get yourself bogged down tonight. You know, hashing over things that are really specific. So skeletal and joint. How about how many bones are in the adult skeleton?
206.
206. So what other numerical question is often asked?
How many ribs do you need?
All right, ribs might be a good choice, or
How many?
How many teeth? I'm just kidding.
vertebrae, or how many bones are there in the vertebrae?
24.
6?
2 sets of 12.
Okay, we're getting 2 answers.
24. 2 sets of 12. 2 pairs of 12.
Well, it's actually 26. 'cause
Dang
you
it.
can't leave out the sacrum or the tailbone,
I
and that's
said that.
part of the
Yeah.
vertebral
It's like
bone.
that they were merged.
I
The
know, that's what
coccyx.
you said, and I said, oh, Randolph, what are we going to do with you? Get it right, buddy. You can't forget
So
the
it's 26.
It's 26. The sacrum and the coccyx bone, which are fused vertebrae. If you really broke them down, there are 33 vertebrae. Because there's 24 to the hip bone. Then you got your sacrum that helps to hold the hips together. And then you got your tailbone. Well, there's 7 in the neck region,
And
12 in the ribs.